Great.
We just won't have you vote on it. Okay. Yeah, you just won't vote on it. You can. Hi guys. So come on in. You guys want to sit up front? So Word Like Expeditions, you guys are actually going to be presenting to us. I'm Lauren, I'm the finance chair of the emailing here. This is Dana, our president, and this is Amanda, one of our members. Also one of our members. Yeah. Multiple. You guys just want to start and just tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay, do you want us to bring up our presentation? We do have a short presentation for you guys, or do you just want us to
go ahead and just kind of start talking about it, and then let them get it up and moving, and then we'll have you guys move over there.
Alright, so we're the Student Environmental Movement. We do all kinds of different beach cleanups, various environmental events on campus, and our goal for this year is to provide the university with urban garden. Would you like to elaborate on exactly what types of gardens?
I'll go over our mission. Our mission is to plant and maintain a sustainable urban garden on Cleveland State University's campus. Seeds will be grown and purchased. They will be organic and non-GMO. And all gardening practices will be in accordance with USDA's organic practices. So we hope to have a pollinator patch, which would be really good for increasing urban pollination, good for butterflies, attracting bumblebees and birds, things like that. And also we plan on having a vegetable garden as well.
So the pollinator patch we plan on having outside of the Honors College. We have the support of Dean Layfeld to do so. She's running for us. She's all for the gardens being implemented and helping in any way she can. So, and then the vegetable garden would go in by Krensler Field. There's an area back there that professors have done research in the past that seems to be a good place for vegetable garden to be implemented.
Yeah, it's a good little spot. I think that we'll be able to produce several hundreds of pounds of food, of which we're going to donate to a charity, local charity in Cleveland.
And so far, we're collecting seeds this weekend for our pollinator patch. So we'll be collecting seeds that are native and from the area. So there'll be plants that the native organisms already use. And then we'll also be using the greenhouse on campus. We have, I forgot to mention this to you, Dr. Rauscher, she's in charge of the greenhouse. She's allowing us to use the greenhouse on campus to start plants. It's really exciting.
Okay, so we already went over the mission. Benefits associated with the garden. We've already kind of gone over this as well. It's visually attractive, CO2 sequestration, so it's good for the climate. Also a pollination site for beneficial insects. We plan on having different events associated with the garden to teach students about sustainability and permaculture. Workshops also to grow and maintain the garden. Will provide the students with volunteer opportunities. And a harvest, as we said, will go to a local charity organization. So what kind of garden? The possibilities are endless. We already went over the native garden as well as the vegetable garden. And depending on other sites that we may have access to, we might be able to do things that, like an orchard or a pumpkin patch, things that require more space. This is just a list of different native plants that we might be planting in our native pollinator patch. Where, we already went over this as well, the main classroom site and Krensler Field. Irrigation, we want to be as sustainable as possible, so we're going to try to implement rain barrels as well as doing water conservancy practices where we mulch over the soil to keep the moisture in for the plants. As well as pest management, we also want to be as organic and natural as possible, so we're going to be in accordance to USDA's regulations. This is just a general plan. It looks like a lot of text, but just to give you the gist of it, right now we're kind of preparing for the germination stages, growing the plants from seed, and that will continue through February. And at that point, when the soil starts to warm up, we'll be able to turn the soil over and prepare it for the planting. And then from there on, once we've planted it, it's just maintaining the garden, weeding it, and also planning our workshops that we plan on having. This is just a little bit of a timeline for some of the vegetables that we might be planting. We can start planting and germinating as soon as February, and we'll be having harvests all the way through the fall. Associated projects, all of our lighting supplies that we're going to have for the germination, the lights and the flood tables and things like that, when they're not in use, they will actually go to the greenhouse that we were just talking about that's on campus. So that will be an improvement for the greenhouse for Dr. Rashford's programs. Also compost, rain barrel events, and hopefully we will have a harvest festival with local farmers to teach students about permaculture as well later in the fall. Materials that we need for germination, it's just basically lights and flood tables, seeds, compost, soil, things like that. And for the mature stage of the plants, it's just a lot of your basic garden tools, shovels, rakes, things like that. Our Viking staff support, as we said, we have the dean's support. Dr. Julie Wolin, she's our program director. She's on board as well. Dr. Emily Rauscher, the plant ecologist who is in charge of the greenhouse. She's on board as well. We're talking to the head groundskeeper, the director of facilities, and the university architects as well. And the sustainability committee that's on CSU, they're actually really excited. So we haven't gotten to meet with them yet, but they're excited to see what we want to do and if they can help us in any way.
We also have external sources such as the Ohio Water Environmental Association. They would like us to do a project where we would use biosolids for the nutrients that we would add if we needed to add nutrients for experimentation. So it could also be an experiment and potentially a capstone project for people in our group. So.
Awesome. So that all sounds fantastic. I'm really excited for that to get started. So early next week, I will be emailing you guys with our decision and get that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, guys.
You too.
They changed the time too.
What order are you from?
My interpretation of the arts, backstage.
First of all, my name is Patricia Carter, and I'm the Vice President.
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Hang on. We'll call you in a minute. She's already in here, and I didn't realize. You're from Epsilon Delta Mu?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, go ahead.
As I was
It's
saying,
yours.
my name is Patricia Carter. I'm the Vice President and Treasurer of Epsilon Delta Mu. First of all, we had the two items that I requested funding for is the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, which we had October 11, 2015, and we're planning on having a holiday celebration either December 25th or December 26th. Okay. This represents, go forward. You really can't see the picture because of the lighting, but basically this is the t-shirts that we ordered for our team Upsilon Delta Mu for our walk back in October. It basically has different words on it. It was an acronym for I believe it was for presence, for planning, but it had the acronym on the shirt. I didn't order the shirt. The president ordered the shirt. She did the whole process of getting resources and ordering the shirt.
So now those shirts are specific to that breast cancer walk?
Right.
Okay.
And it will not only be used for this walk, but it'll be used for future walks.
Okay.
This is our 5th anniversary for this particular walk. We started in 2010 when we became a sorority. We had 63 walkers, which was a real record for us. membership as well as friends and family and people from the community. Okay. These are, this is a picture of our walk last year. We didn't have any specific t-shirt. We just basically wore our cancer hat. Next slide. And this basically is our second plan for the Hitchcock Center. One of my sisters work at the Hitchcock Center. She's basically now creating a list of all the women and children that are in need of winter coats, gloves, mittens, hats, and shoes. What I really wanted to do was to give the women an opportunity to see, not just myself, but membership and the person who's a member of Upsilon Delta Nu, see exactly what you can do after you have an education. And we want to represent CSU as a sorority here at CSU to aid those who are less fortunate through their wrong choices. We encourage these women to make the right choices with their children, as well as their future educational goals for themselves and for their children. We had thought that December 15th, which is a holiday, we could either have it on the 26th or we could have it on the 25th. My preference is the 25th because I want to reach a multicultural community, which is what the Hitchcock Center is composed of. December 26th, if we can't get participation from all the residents within Hitchcock, then we'll go for the 26th. But what we voted on was the 25th. Okay.
And did you want to go over your Making Strides walk and what the money that you requested would go towards for that one?
Okay, the money would go towards the purchase of the t-shirts, which was done through Hot Signs, and I sent a copy of that attached with my request. Okay. The t-shirts, just like I said, is a one-time purchase. And what we're going to do is wash them and reuse them. They will be gently used t-shirts. So this is a one-time purchase for the t-shirts.
Awesome. So I will be emailing you early next week with our decision, and
okay.
That sounds great. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I will.
No, I said what she asked me, we can ask you.
You don't.
That our grad chapter has been doing for years, and we wanted to continue that to where we, kind of practice safe sex. And it's Valentine's Day, so we kind of incorporate the fun candy that we do as well.
Yeah, basically we did like the safe sex pathways information along with condoms and things like that. And it's like a fun way to promote safe sex for the students versus like kind of shoving it down their throat.
So we just set up a table, if they want to come grab one, it's up to them.
And is your table probably going to be like in a student center? Or
In the lane, which is usually in the inner lane. One question, are we allowed to add anything? Because when we submitted our form, we wasn't sure whether we can go in and add extra things. Because we had another idea that we forgot to add on the list.
Was it another event, or was it just in addition to an already existing event?
Well, we wanted to start J's for A's, which is, we wanted to pick a school that has a kid, preferably a girl, because we have Rosebuds, which is
Auxiliary, like a program under the umbrella of the sorority. So it's like each chapter has their own auxiliaries and breakdowns of each group.
so we just wanted to reward them for their grades and somehow get in contact with the principal. And we wanted to, well, we give like hats and scarves and stuff to Sterling, which is an underprivileged school. And we wanted to reward one kid with Jordans or like a gift card or something. You know, to help compensate them for their good grades. And they would have to type up a paper as to why we should give it to them. And we just kind of go over that to see, which one best fits our needs.
Kind of like a scholarship, but it's like a gift.
So what we can do for you is if you could come up with a budget for that and email Warren that information, we can consider it. Just to give full disclosure, it will be considered as a late addition, so it won't be given priority because all of the other requests will be given priority first. But if you'd like to submit something, we can definitely at least look it over.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And if it's not until later and we have another budget hearing at some 20-something of January, so is that for the second week of January, after we come back, so if
That'll be
you did
good.
want to
Because report
actually
cards
present
come
it
out
again.
around that time again too.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Everybody gets what else do we have? Black History Jeopardy.
Yes.
Yay! Basically, us being a historically black organization, it's very important that we put out there the knowledge of black history, and we wanted to do that for all students because you don't really learn that so much until you get into university life. And so we wanted to establish that in like another fun, creative way, and then that way anyone can really come. It's not so much
Black
like,
History Month, kind of incorporates something fun as opposed to some,
And are you raising money when you hold this event, or is it for your philanthropy, or?
we're just doing it more towards philanthropy.
Yes.
We're not necessarily going to raise money. It's more of like just like an educational thing versus.
Something like that might be more along the lines as needed, as we're specifically service or philanthropy, so if you wanted to raise funds or something at that event and then donate it to your philanthropy, but if it's just to kind of raise awareness, that would probably be more actual.
okay. Good.
And then I have the women's business panel.
Yes. That along with the Black History Jeopardy, we were going to establish a Gamma Week for your campus since we've been on this campus over 10 years strong. We wanted to finally celebrate the legacy here. So us being also a business sorority, we wanted to recognize women in business. So with that being said, we were asking for funds, obviously, to cater the event and to give out awards to the panel.
Yeah, a few of our panels are professors here that we just kind of asked to participate in. And we have 5 so far, I believe.
Yes.
So, and at the end, we're just gonna just kind of reward them for their time and effort and just have a dinner and just, try to set a time for them, maybe 20 minutes or so. We was gonna try to do it like an evening event and kind of formal.
That also sounds like an event that might head over to SGA.
What's 4 pages out of that? Yes, review.
Thank you.
Then I think we're back. Thank you.
Yeah, so the Boulay 2016.
Yes. That's what we all look forward to every year. It's where all of our organizations, just not on a national level, we all come together for a week's worth of training.
We do community service as a group. We're learning business techniques, all that kind of stuff. And the unique part of this is us being from, our sorority originally started in the northern region, obviously we're in the north. We are the only active and surviving undergrad chapter in this
In our
region.
northern region.
So it would be kind of a big deal if we could show up and do it.
Because there's no other active chapters.
Right, well, every other chapter, like UT, BG, CASE, like all of them kind of just,
Kind of went to the grade
Right.
chapter.
but of course, CSU, we stay nice and strong over here. And healthy.
I have a question about the membership package on those
Okay.
schools you mentioned.
Membership, basically with us being a business sorority, there's certain materials that you have to have. First, like the handbooks, the suits, the membership cards, the,
It's like a whole packet full of things, our rituals and our literature, basically.
like,
How many people are you taking on this event?
Four.
And this is to LA, right?
Yes. They only have them every other year.
Okay.
$210 for 4 people.
That
No,
is
this is
per,
the Boulay 2016, right?
right.
Yes.
We have Boulay.
That is per person, I believe that's our fee.
So your total amount requested for this on-campus event is?
2,790 for the Boulay.
Correct.
The problem is that we have to get it down to 2,000 for us. But
The next one we can fund 2,000 off campus.
would you guys be able to fund that extra $700 through fundraising and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Think-
I mean,
You think you guys could do that though?
Yeah, we actually having a bake sale next week, so we just have to incorporate a lot more fundraisers and bake
Yeah.
sales.
So
And then,
Because
Here's their own source of Yeah, then there's, so the food tastings and the ice skating and the potato bar, those are fundraising events?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, so that's fun.
Okay. Very good.
okay, can you go into detail about the Women's Business Panel? You said that you're gonna offer awards.
yes, they're gonna either be like a small, like a small trophy or like a certificate or something of their excellence, so.
see, the thing is, we can't fund any sort of giveaway or prizes.
Okay.
So like anything that
believe
you
we only
give to
asked
members,
for
we
the-
can.
Yeah, for the
Cater.
food,
I
yeah,
was
it
about to
was
say,
just to
'cause
let
that'd
you
be-
know ahead of
We
time.
can fund the food though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on campus, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's on.
What is? I see, very good. Cool.
And then, okay, you have payback from a mid-board in Vegas. What was that?
Yes, once again, us being awesome, basically, we had a representative, myself, go to Vegas and showcase us as undergrads as well as be a representative of the school. And we were just kind of curious if we could get like a reimbursement.
We have these conferences once a year here, and it's like the off-spin of Boulay, actually. So every other year, we have a big conference somewhere in the northern region. But this year, it was in Vegas, so it's kind of like a business conference for 4 days to kind of educate us. And
You already went though?
yeah, she,
You're okay. That's retroactive funding, which we can't do unfortunately. Like, student life is gonna tell you that essentially, that they can't give you the money back because you didn't have it allocated to you beforehand. So that's really how that works. Just FYI. Yeah, if you're doing something like that, try to get it funded beforehand.
Okay.
That's the only way we're able to do it. So,
However, everything looks good.
Yeah, everything else, yeah, looks great.
We should be able to get you guys the full amount that we can fund for your off-campus time. So hopefully you guys can do the rest and have a good time.
So probably by next week, you're gonna receive your email from me.
Yeah, our next Senate meeting is Friday, and that's when we ratify everything throughout the Senate.
Friday night or Monday morning.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out.
If you wanna film that. For the next packet, just, it should be a statement for everyone. There's a confusion between the Viking and the SGA, so I'm gonna go over this all.
So that's us not you.
We're not sure if it's a V or us, so this is not here.
So I can't talk to this. Can I like still ask questions?
Yeah, you can ask questions.
I don't think they're.
They come in right now, monitor.
Like that one Jeopardy thing. Everything besides this is on
I'll try to see which folks funded. They're only funding like this.
Yeah.
So everything else is on. Like, there's a lot of other campus activities that we still fund funds for. Excluding,
But ice skating,
that's
I
including
think ice skating is all out. I know, but
Okay, so
ice
you
skating is
have
out.
the size here, she said she did turn in all the paperwork, so we're just gonna hear that real quick, and then we'll double check with Jamie and see. You know, it's sad.
You know, you have to.
She said she turned in all the paperwork, but she's not, doesn't know why.
So that's something that's from Student Life that staff, we actually, as students, don't have the ability to check in on that. So what we can do for you is if you'd like to present, then we would recommend if you'd like to email, either you can email our advisors, Jamie Johnston or Bob Bergman, and they can check in on your, on the reason why you wouldn't be active yet.
Never done this before, so. So, you're requesting from Viking Expeditions, that's us three over here, I'm Lauren, I'm the finance chair. This is Dana, our president, and this is Amanda, one of our members. So if you just wanna go over real quick, what your event is, what you're gonna be using the money for, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm from New Alpha and we have several events that is going on. One of our first events is the Giving Tree, and the Giving Tree will be over in the Black Studies Department, and the purpose of that is to give to the children that are in foster care, and that's at the National Youth Advocate Program. And New Alpha Sites have sponsoring that program to help give toys to children that are in foster care, to let them know that they are still cared for, and people do still love them and care for them. That's one of our community service projects that we do. The next one is a Valentine party we also give, and that's to the Women's Shelter. That's another community service project we give, and we do that every February. And what we do is we go there and we give them a big party, let them know that we still care for them, and that we're hoping that they can get on their feet and get back out into the community and be more self-sufficient. We also give them toiletries, things that they can have with them, because we know that the homeless shelter, they don't supply them with a lot of stuff, so we try to make up for some of that. Also, we have a fundraiser with a Black and White Affair, and that is to fundraise so those proceeds can go to half the women's shelter and half to the foster children. Our last event is for the foster children again, and that's in the month of May to June. We give them a party again. It's appreciation to let them know we still care, we're still around, we're still, rooting for them so that they can eventually get adopted. So it's really just to show them that we care, giving them parties, and just being interactive with them with games and activities. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll double check on the paperwork if you're active or not active or whatever, but those events sound awesome, and I'll be emailing you early next week about that, all right?
Would you like to see a flyer?
Sure, sure.
This is what we did this past summer.
Aw, looks fun.
Yeah, we got rained out a little bit, so that's why a lot of people was not here. And it's what we are about to currently start doing,
Awesome.
starting the last seven spot.
Awesome,
This
thanks.
is giving trick.
Awesome, thank you so much. Did they have a bus for you too? Okay, all right, you're good to go.
Oh, that was good,
Thank
okay.
you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
And I will double check too.
Okay, awesome, yeah. Have a good weekend.
Me too, thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hello, everybody. I tipped my lucky dog.
Modern interpretation of the arts is here. My name is Renee Evans. Questions?
So, we see that you're asking for money from both VE and SGA?
Right, because part of ours is a service. We're going to be doing tutoring service called Marian Sterling School. And there's still,
That's the modern interpretation of
Of
the
the
arts.
arts.
Still?
yeah, that's one of our
Okay.
events, yes.
So the thing is, we cannot fund the same things, and we also see that you're requesting money for wine, which we cannot provide money for alcohol.
We're doing fundraisers for that, and I talked to conference services on that as well. I mean catering on that as well.
As a student organization, we can't.
I understand.
So that's the $480 that you're asking, that can't be funded from
Okay.
either of us. And the other thing is, VE can only give a maximum of $3,000. And it really, I guess it really depends on how your service and philanthropy plays into this.
And that's gonna be true, conference services is going to work with us on balancing out when they see what we're gonna be actually granted. We're doing fundraisers to raise money for the other items that we may get for the event, because we're going with the authenticity of the Cotton Club look and feel. And this is gonna offset the monies that we raise, the cost of some of the other items that we would need, whether it be decoration, entertainment for the people, or our tickets, for ticket sales.
So I have the first is a question. As Lauren said, SGA and VE, we can't fund the same event. So my
Right.
first question for you would be, I guess, who would you rather see funding from? And keeping that in mind, if you go through VE, we can only fund the service part of your request. And
Right.
if you go with SGA, they cannot fund the service part of your request.
Okay, I understand, because I did approach my student government before I did this.
Okay.
And then it was just stated that it may be best to go through Viking Expedition, so that's why it was transferred on our order from student government to Viking Expedition, because of it being a service. It is for these students over at Marian Sterling, which I spoke to the principal, the head of the program, and the items that we're getting are literacy. We're also going to do a book fundraising, because literacy is in third grade guarantee that's in the school systems as of today. And if the children are not fluent with reading by third grade, it affects their status at that point. And we're also collabing with service-wise or volunteering with some of the fraternity and sororities to go over, because we're picking 4 days out of the month. It's going to be a consistent thing.
And then, so we can look at your request, as Lauren said, we can only fund up to $3,000.
Yes.
So we can, if we choose to give you the full $3,000, that's fine. Reconciliation purposes though, you'll just want to make sure that when you provide receipts, that none of that $3,000 goes towards the line. Right?
Oh,
So
I
if-
understand that, and that was discussed with
Okay.
conference
That's fine,
services in advance.
just because I don't want those receipts to get mixed up and then have them maybe paid for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's fine, if you have it okayed through other people, just a reminder to make sure you keep those very separate.
Right,
Through
right.
reconciliation.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Next one.
I guess it looks like you're having a dinner, or is that what? It looks like
For the Cotton Club?
Yeah, for dinner.
For the Cotton Club?
It's all under one event, modern interpretation of the arts.
Right, the dinner is part of the ambiance. So it's gonna be 10, so when you come to the door and you present your ticket, the coat check girl's gonna say, welcome to the Cotton Club, sign your register, and then we're gonna have servers, which they're gonna be getting, letting you know how that's gonna go. And the server will take you to your table. You're gonna have dinner, starting off with a soup and salad, and then we picked chicken so far. Which was gonna be the cheaper, beef or chicken. I would like to have two, but at this point it's chicken. And then there's a medley of vegetables that was gonna be on the tray. We have a big band that's gonna be playing. So it's the old-fashioned swing era. We have dancers that's coming from the school, but I'm gonna have them planted out like regular customers that has come, pretend you're a customer. And when the band starts playing, they're gonna come out and do the swing move, you know, the dancing and things of the sort. We have our props are gonna be done. We have backdrops that are gonna be there as well. And then we're gonna have a few tables that are out, not selling any items, but it's just having people with that look and that era, and we're gonna be dressed in the same. You know, zoot suits and flappers and yeah. And it's open to the community as well as our campus. We're collaborating with the music's coming from our music department.
And this event is raising money or it's happening at the school, or?
It's gonna be here at the school. We're taking the 3rd floor plus the additional 2 rooms that were added on.
Okay.
One is for a change. This is where the actual event's going for, and this is the holding green rooms. So we have the 2 rooms off to the side. The restrooms are here. The outside parts are gonna be set up and, you know, look in that era. We're having floodlights, and out in the front, we're having, it's gonna say Cotton Club, where Hughie's gonna put a display, and I want some 30s and 40s music, swing music playing, so when people come by, they don't have to say, where's the building at? I don't know, where is that? It's gonna be right out front.
Now, does it cost anything to get into the event?
It's a cost, we have tickets, that's why I said.
Okay, and that's, then the money raised from
We're
that.
raising money at the same time. This is part of our fundraiser.
And
Yes.
that money is going to a nonprofit, or like? who's
That's
that
going toward, we have, let me give you the date that I have on there. This is why they said it'd be best to go with you guys.
Because if all of the money that you're fundraising is going towards a nonprofit, that's our purview, but if you're raising any money
No,
for
it's-
your own organization, we can't.
No, that's,
Okay.
it's going for Marion Sterling Elementary School, pre-K to 3rd grade is who we're focusing on.
Okay.
Reading and math literacy. The Girls and Boys Club, because I have a map, Cleveland State's here, the Girls and Boys Club here, and it's also tutoring services. When I said we're supplying not only the materials that we're buying, 3 assessment kits, which puts them at the level that you know what they're performing at. And then, and that's gonna be the Brooklyn location. And we have the senior building, which is on 30th, and all of this is generated right in the same area. So when I get to the School of Education to see if they would have someone to volunteer, or someone that has an organization that has to put in hours, here's a good place to do it. It's right in our own backyard, and voila, the kids get to increase. Hopefully, it's not gonna be an instant thing, but they'll be able to increase their literacy level, at least close to or somewhere near the benchmark level for the Ohio Education Department. Okay. And also, part of this is the YMCA, they do tutoring there as well, and I'm getting in collaboration with them. And we're gonna also give them the material we buy when we're finished, we're giving it to the children. They get to take it. And the lunches, we're thinking of a bag lunch, something healthy, an orange, granola bar, sandwich, or whatever, so that when we're there tutoring them, they can get a little nourishment. And so that's the purpose of that event and the cost of the tickets, because it spills over to servicing more than one venue.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So they didn't have any other questions, right?
Anyone?
Did you have a request for SGA?
I have the study tables.
Yeah.
Can we start with Mama's Drama?
Okay.
Yeah, they're requesting $5,237 from SGA. And you guys have the first event, which is $4,163.
Correct.
Well, 64 if you round it up.
Right, so 4,163.50.
Okay.
Okay, that play is coming from a director from Atlanta. She actually is from Columbus. The play has been successful. She just made it successful at, it's down in Atlanta. Oh my gosh, I didn't write it. Yeah, Spelman College, and it is success in Washington, D.C. So what we did was we seeked out the lady that I met through another production, and actually she bring it, the drama covers basically a family secret that basically reveals shocking love and laughter and pain, going through different changes and transitions that people embrace. The play covers from 1965 to 2001. It's basically a family drama.
Is this open to students?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And do we have, like, is it free? Is it a free?
No, it wouldn't be free. Students most definitely get a discount. We try to, I spoke with like one of the college, how they handle it. I mean, she basically sent me a proposal of the capacity. But she sent me a proposal on how the college handled it, how they, yes, we kind of copy it off of how they handle it. They had a cover charge for like the students, which was like $10 or so, and then they had the outsiders pay another cover charge.
Okay,
Still
so
a negotiation.
one of our things is like, we can't fund an event that students are not, like, CSU students are not, it's not free.
Oh, okay, but that's not a problem.
Okay, so it is,
Yeah, that's not a
the event
problem.
just has to be free.
Okay.
You can ask for donations.
Yeah.
Ah, got you.
Yeah.
So just encourage donations,
Yeah.
but you cannot charge.
Okay.
All right, and then.
Stand up and slam.
Do you guys have like an estimate of like how much you guys are expecting for that event?
As an overall outcome, or expected to have
Like
spending?
attendance?
That was on the sheet, it's on the sheet. One second. It's 250. What is the estimated amount for the event? It's approximately 250 students and community people.
And do you guys have a current account balance of your?
No, this is going to be our first, we did put in the 250 allocations in the beginning.
Okay.
It hasn't shown up on our books at this point, but I know it takes time. This is going to be our first
Okay.
request for funding from either Viking as well as student government.
And
So,
do you guys plan on having any other events? Because we're only, I mean, I know, like,
Well,
next.
some of the other ones are like our bake sale. We're doing a bake sale / talent / questionnaire thing to just beef up our bake sale. And the bake sale is another way of us increasing our funds.
Okay.
And that's gonna be underneath just as anything, normal. The other thing that we have was a Got Talent, stand-up mic slam. And that's getting the students to interact and have a good time. It's gonna be over at the, behind the conference. And just to have that feel, you get up and do your thing, you give you, okay, sing a song, all right, got to jump. And stress-free. What else be the next one?
The last request, that's like $2,400 for printing, marketing, and promotional items.
Okay, that is being our first year, and we needed to get, I broke it down real small. I actually sent you the vendors list, and it's from recognized vendors from CSU. And we have like 25 shirts, large, 25 small. We went down small on our items. We did order cups, ink pens, and a table cover that has our club logo and name on it. And that's, I think that was basically it, because we're also incorporating our 250 into that cost.
Okay, is there any other requests after that?
No, I think that was it, because you have the stand up and slam, you have the Got Talent, we have the bake sale, we have the study tables, we have the play, and then our big event is the Cotton Club.
You guys are good to go, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you. First, I want to see you support the our event, because I want student government to see some of the things that we do, and they're fun.
And the next one is MSA. They have a question.
Just so you know, your maximum for the year is 5,000.
Oh, I understand
Like
that, but
academic.
if we do it, it's in the clause where it says blah, 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 $5,000, but you may be able to get the additional I can highlight it later and show you, but I do understand that the initial outcome is 5,000.
Well, yeah, 5,000 is maximum for an academic year. including spring semester.
Yeah.
Fall semester covered.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
They have a request for us and a white people.
You guys will
Did it on PowerPoint?
You guys have a PowerPoint or?
I didn't know there were this many of you, so I don't have your slides.
You didn't tell her?
So we can all share one if you
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
It's not my job. You're harassing me. Very good, you guys are. Thank you. You're the best, man.
So, if you want to start out with your request for VE first, for VE, I'm Lauren, I'm finance chair. This is Dan, our president, and this is Amanda, one of our members.
Hi, I'm Muslim from Muslim Student Association. So I submitted the budget request by the deadline, but we just had a last minute officer meeting and we realized that we were going to need to request more money, which I've outlined on page 3. So the first one, which went through on the deadline, was the Botanical Gardens. It's an event we've already done in the past. We know that it's something we can do, people come to it. And from past experience, we know that we do have to buy supplies for the event, like shovels and rakes. This is an off-campus event. And then the second event is a fundraiser for Syrian refugees, which is happening on campus. And we're asking for $750 for that one. A lot of the costs have been alleviated by another organization that's helping us with that. So they're mostly just expecting us to pay for like students, napkins, decorations, and desserts.
So for this year, it's great that you gave me this, but you said just send that in an email as well, just so it's electronically documented. And those are just the events you have at VE, right?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So SGA?
Okay. So for SGA, I was trying to compare prices for t-shirts because I was looking at AG Promos, which is improved under for CSU, but I haven't gotten back on the quote for that. So I went to another website, and the quote is written there as $375.60. I just rounded to 400 just to make it easier. We're thinking around 40 shirts for the club. Next is Zero class. We're looking at $1,000 in honorarium for the teacher. That includes the fact that he's coming throughout the whole year and that he's using his own gas money and money for his own parking. The next event is for Hijab Day. We did this event last year and it was really successful. We're looking to do a collaboration with SGA this time. It wasn't like a formal request for that, but there was talk between the senator and officers. So I have some price quotes written down for scarves. From JCPenney it was like $20, and then on Amazon it was $9. So we're looking at the Amazon prices. And then we're also asking for the $250.
So for your speaker,
Yep.
we don't fund traveling costs.
Okay.
So that they know that. But we could, other than that, it should be good.
Okay.
Are you aware of like the contract when you bring in speakers in, CSU approved contract that exists? Because I'm pretty sure when you're bringing a speaker in, there's like already a contract that we're supposed to use. Are you familiar with that? It should be on work.
We can have them fill it out like that as soon as.
Well, I'm just saying that's what student life is. I just wanted you guys to be aware. Don't enter into a contract with somebody just like, without checking the student life first.
Okay.
Because there's like a pre-approved CSU contract that that student org is supposed to use when they're bringing in a speaker. And that's the contract that the Cleveland State will approve if they're going to fund the speaker.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's the one that can be found in Boxing.
I don't know if it's on marketing. My better advice would be like go harass student life until they show you.
Okay.
I think you can come in the office. I can try to find it for
Okay,
you.
cool.
These $400 worth of shirts aren't on the request, right? It's separate, it's like you added it after you submitted.
Okay, so on the request, you have $2,150 requested from SGA, excluding the one-time $250, which is a different budget, but that automatically gets allocated. But So on top of that, you're asking how much from that?
What's the
Fine.
plan? Yeah.
335?
The shirts are not on here.
Okay.
She didn't put it in before.
No.
I mean, that's something we want to discuss.
I have
Just for some reason,
Okay.
It would be,
We'll discuss that at meeting.
what you're asking from FGA is the teacher to order the Sierra classes, the job day. There's a little difference. World Hijab Day on here is
Yeah,
different than what budget request we got through.
I had
Like-
to change that on this one.
Okay, the request, we got a request for $1,000. So we should refer to the top, you're asking for
Refer to
$1,000.
this one.
You're asking for $2,500? Okay. I know that we can give up to $5,000 for
They already spent 2,000.
on campus, and since you already spent $2,500,
Okay.
you know, the max is gonna be $5,000, so just, I'm gonna put that out there just so you're clear.
Okay.
Because that's gonna affect our funding,
Okay.
what we're able to do. But we'll note that, you know, this is the amount we want to request, you know, but since this is what you put through,
Online.
kind of what we're more gonna look at, but we'll take it into consideration.
That'd be great.
But everything looks good?
Yeah.
Wait, they're asking for a collaboration for the job day.
No, that's not, job day is not something that we would, that type of event, smaller event is not something that we would usually do collaboration for. But we can always discuss it at our later meeting. Okay, we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the rest of the requests are from us, these.
Okay, so what do we have next?
So the next, the Black Study Union.
They can only get $350. Because we already got $2,500.
But if they don't wanna use their off-campus stuff, they can use it. So they would have
So,
Now, it
2,000.
just depends on what you guys think, like if you think maybe it would save an extra.
Good luck, guys.
That's one thing, but.
Plus, but the 1,000's not right. She said she needs, it's 2,500 on the sheet she gave us. So cross out the 1,000, it's supposed to be 2,500. Plus the 150, plus it's 400.
The Black Union is not here, so we move over to the next one, that's Delta Sigma.
Do you have us down as Delta Sigma Theta or just Delta Sigma? Delta Sigma.
Delta Sigma, but we see that it's
Yeah,
Delta
we
Sigma
knew.
Theta.
So
Okay.
Yeah, we knew.
Okay, thank you.
It was either you guys or Delta Sigma Phi, and I knew it wasn't us.
You want me to stay up here?
yeah, do you have a PowerPoint or anything? No.
So we can skip the Black Union.
Next thing we can
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ayana Wilson. I am a member and a representative for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We're a public service sorority. I'm here today to request funding for our membership intake process. Our chapter currently is almost everyone is graduating in the spring. So we want to increase our numbers to keep our presence here on campus as well as in our community. Like so far this semester, we've tried to raise funds for membership intake. We had a after school party. So we charged $5 per person. We gave them food, water, and gifts. It turned out to be like a great event. We raised $215. We've participated in Greek Week. We're still trying to get to know members of the IFC and NPC, and like just to bridge those different communities on campus as well. So we also want to like partner with those organizations. We feel like the populations are different. So in a way that would like bring everybody on campus more so together. We need funding because for our sorority, we have to have specific things for rituals and ceremonies, and if it's not from headquarters, it's not considered official. So we wouldn't be able to have those ceremonies. We would need help paying for room rentals and setups and things like that, and also our Rush. For Rush, it's open for everyone on campus. We're a city-wide chapter, so it allows people to come in, hear about our organization, what we have to offer, things that we require of people who would like membership. We provide food, excuse me, and prizes and gifts, and then we offer people a package for membership, and then we explain how that process works.
One thing, we cannot fund prizes or giveaways. And if you are holding an event that gives away food or anything funded by us, we just can't charge students.
Okay.
So,
CSU students.
yeah, CSU students. You can charge anyone from the outside area.
So when your case sisters come over here, you guys can put on a little charge or ask a donation.
Just be sure that we ask for their school they go to.
This is where their money is going, so we don't want to double charge them.
And for prizes, like, it's not more so like gifts, it's more so things from our sorority that we make ourselves and like we give to them, which is like things that they can't find for themselves, it has to be given to them from us.
Yeah, I see that it says the location is CSU and other locations as well. Can you
Yes.
clarify that? Because we can only allocate $2,000 for off-campus per academic year.
Okay, the other locations, since we're citywide, we're required to have at least one event at those schools, give everybody from those schools a fair chance to hear the information. More so, they don't usually charge us for those locations, because as long as we have like a student at that school, they won't charge us. So now that membership is down and the people from those schools have left, most of our events have been here at Cleveland State.
So you be giving, are you trying to get food and things like that for CSU?
CSU, this is our home, our home.
Okay.
But we have mainly everything here since this is where the bigger population of our members and students are.
So since this is like the main location, it's food for CSU?
Yes, like we have all ceremonies, rituals, and rush here.
Okay, so that should be okay then.
Yes.
Okay.
But the D9 sororities and fraternities have been like this for a very long time, and they have actual exceptions to some rules in the finance rules in general. But yeah, so you guys are fine with all that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. You have a great day.
Have a good week. Alright, so,
The next one is.
Flag Student Union didn't show up? Okay, so they're postponed towards the end, to the end of the meeting. If they do,
If they show up, we call it.
Next one is
So set that aside.
The two couple. Two? You got it.
Loud. Please forget loud.
Jay.
Wow.
Let's come down to that.
I forgot the thing was
Good job, guys.
You're gonna get,
I said yeah.
you're gonna get in trouble.
You guys have a flower book? Whenever you guys are ready to go.
What's up, guys? So basically, you guys just run through real quick, or as quickly as you possibly can, your requests from SGA and like explain what you're going to be doing at it. That's basically it.
Okay, the next 3 pages.
The red carnation ball, that's the only one we have. So you can start.
That's the only one you have?
No.
There's 2 more.
You don't start with that regional.
Okay, so for the red carnation ball, that is our formal, that we throw every year. We invite, all of, like, kind of Greek life, and also we invite, other people as well, guests, like, Dr. Yardwell, and other people like Jill, from Greek life as well. And that's where we kind of showcase awards and we, kind of have food and stuff, celebrate our year. And then for the, Regional Leadership Conference, you guys for that one? That is a leadership conference, and we send about 8 teaks roughly to that conference to build leadership abilities and bring that back to the university so that those leaders can get involved in campus and contribute back to the university.
For off campus, we can only fund up to 2,000.
Yeah, it's about 2,000. That's what I think.
Okay.
2,300, so can you guys raise $300?
Well, have you guys used your one-time 250 yet? We can just make that request. We'll make that request for you, and you guys can basically cover that 300 with one time.
So yeah, it's about roughly around 300 per person. A little bit less than that, but kind of like rounded it up. And that covers like hotel costs and food and stuff like that for the regional leadership conference.
Next one is
During that week, we have events on campus all throughout the week. We've thrown events like the teak auction. We've done Greek gods and goddesses competition. We've done a Kaplan seminar, and we usually just do events for the whole campus community during that week and kind of promote our name and also giving back to the CSU community.
Yeah, I know we funded that last year, and we funded the Carnation Ball too. Both of those turned out very well, so. You guys should hear about how much money we end up giving you guys, which should be pretty much all of it. In a week's time, we'll have another meeting. So, you guys are good.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this following Monday, because we have the Senate meeting on
Yeah, it
Friday.
has to be ratified.
All right.
Takes a little while.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
the Black Study.
What is that?
Black Studies Elite.
Maybe it's Paul.
Hello, Bob. Oh, this is going fast.
Good.
I know, we're
Well, way better than last time.
Still question, we gotta ask questions.
Yeah, but like, oh.
And co-ed softball is
Like,
rejected,
yeah.
so we'll fit.
Oh, wait.
Joe, did you get your cut?
Because I've been doing that a little bit of time.
I missed that one here.
On the little window for school.
My hair's
time for little short.
Thank God we had that in there.
That stupid one with the hat.
She wasted all.
I'm not shaking. No, I have the after effect of coffee. I haven't eaten a lot.
You said
That's
what?
Like nobody's outside, man.
We're done.
Somebody called the Chinese one day outside, right?
Are you serious? No one's came.
Okay, we're jumping down
What's
to
that?
at 4:55. Well, it's at 4:35.
The problem is nobody's there, so the Chinese club, the Chinese students, we're gonna hear them, alright? Is everybody cool with that?
The only people that can go are there. No, it's association, because they're here.
China Scholars Association.
That's the only one that can go, everyone else is associated.
Or if no one else is here, whoever comes.
I know, but I'm saying if they do show up, because technically they're 40.
It's really bad. Is there anyone else there?
Nobody's outside, I'm surprised.
I know.
You have a popcorn?
Oh, no, I don't have a PowerPoint.
You can go ahead with that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We applied Chinese Students and Scholars Association. We applied $1,600 for 2 semesters, the end of semester parties, 800 for this semester and 800 for next semester. And the purpose we apply for this money is to facilitate Chinese culture in the community, equal to everyone. After this, we applied $5,000 for next semester. Oh no, $500 for the basketball tournament for next semester. Also, we spent $895 for International Day. Next Wednesday, November 18th. So we need this reimbursed from our Chinese New Year Fund. We spend money from there. Because this time, hearing is after that. We get the answer after that. Also, we applied for multicultural, but was denied. Yeah, those who did a big one. Didn't we grant one of the end of the year parties already? No. We
We
denied.
actually postponed it, this one.
We gave them some money they used for wine. That
Yeah,
number, you talking about
us
that?
three actually met with her, and we told her to just use the money that she got in good faith for a different event,
Mm-hmm,
and then we would just fund her for the other events.
So how much does she actually got now?
She's asking for, 1,200? 1,300?
$1,600,
$2,100
Oh,
you asking right now.
2,100.
No, we already gave.
2,100 total.
We already gave her 1,200.
Yes.
We gave her
You
1,200.
have 3 different requests.
Yes.
You have one too.
Okay, last
Everyone
time,
has this.
800, applied for AEP, so denied. And also another one is denied.
But right now she's asking 2,100, here is all the 3 requests.
Okay.
And also the 895, we spent for international aid, educational aid, we need to reimburse from.
What did we approve you last time that you got the money and then you used that for? What that was that?
Last time?
Yeah.
Yes.
We gave
I
her
think it's
1,200.
October,
No.
Didn't we grant one that was in February?
February.
February.
Last time we approved them $1,200.
Yeah.
1,200, yeah. We
Oh, yes, that's
funded
one.
one event that was in the future. We
Yeah.
told you to use that money for this one.
Yes.
And that we fund that same event again.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes,
Did
so-
you request, one of these is for that reimbursement, right?
Yeah, I don't send money, but we talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just need to
Should have
refund,
you retroactive,
$895
but she used it for a different event.
for the February event.
So in addition to the $2,100 you're requesting now,
Yeah, 895.
you want $895.
Yeah,
And that
refund.
was a conversation that happened?
Yes, yes, and.
Did she talk to you about it? What happened?
Yeah, Tyler,
Just-
yeah.
Basically,
On the
basically,
event that we already funded.
Oh,
basically, we used the money that she already was allocated,
1,200.
for an event that was coming up super recently at the time.
Oh.
Which means she no longer has the money for the event coming up in February, which is why she needs the money again for the same event we already funded technically. But obviously, she used that money for a different event.
for a different one.
Correct,
Okay.
which is totally within the rules of finance committee.
Do you have the current account balance?
Current balance, now it's the same as this one, because we haven't reimbursed yet. We just spend money. We send the PO number to the restaurant for the international day, and also we spend the petty money or petty cash, but we haven't do the reimburse yet.
Okay.
Yeah, after the event in November 18th, we'll do the event. So now, our balance is the same as last time.
So
It's
zero?
$1,200 plus $250.
So basically nothing has under.
So the money hasn't moved out of the account yet, but it's in the process.
It's already been
Yes.
processed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you already processed the 1,200?
1,200?
So
Oh, no, we spent 895, not total 1,200.
Okay.
So basically $305 left in your account.
195?
Yes.
$305 left in your account.
305?
Yeah.
So 305 is your current account balance?
Current balance, up to 895 minus 1,200.
Because you said you only used the 895, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so the total, do you know what your total was before that, prior to you using the 895?
The 1,200
It was
plus the
1,200,
250,
so,
right?
so the remainder was 305,
But
right?
let's make it easy, what was the total balance at the beginning? How much
Okay.
money you had in the account?
I think total, we should have after you approve it, we should have $4,195 in the account.
4,000?
Yeah,
Well,
$4,195.
we're saying like current, like right now, what's
Oh,
it?
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, right now, it's $1,200 plus $250. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is balance on the account, but $895, it will.
It will go.
Yeah,
It
will
will
go,
go.
right?
so $305 is gonna be left in your account after 1,200 money.
Yeah, after next Wednesday, it
Okay.
will go away.
Okay, so 305.
So make it easy, she has $305 left in her account.
Okay.
So I have a question. How do we get the refund of $895?
So that's what you're waiting on, right?
Yeah.
So you submitted the financial requisition to Student Life?
Yes, already.
and now it's processing.
Yes.
So whoever is the reimbursement is coming to,
Mhm.
because you paid out of pocket for it, I imagine. You spent $195, you already paid it.
Yes.
Okay, so whoever paid it and whoever you told Student Life, we're gonna receive a check in the mail. We're gonna send you a check, and that's how you get reimbursed.
If you have any question, Bob or Jamie?
Jamie Johnston.
Jamie Johnston, you can have a question with the funding.
But that one, I think that was for the reimbursable person. For my understanding is that we use the money for the next February, we get money from that, so we keep
Didn't you send in, isn't that what one of these three requests is right now, right?
No.
See, that
You
was
didn't
what
make
we,
another request for the February event?
that's what we
Oh,
talked.
no, I should make that again?
Yeah.
Correct, because you used the money already. So if you wanna have that event, you have to make another request to have that money. We can't just magically put it in your account.
Oh, okay. So we need to make another request for the February, change New Year.
February, when can be February when?
February 1st.
That might be.
We actually have another hearing in January, second week of January.
Let me check.
Because we don't get back until like January 16th.
So she wanted to get the money for this, but we have a hearing.
So our hearing should be January 22nd. It'll be approved on the 29th, and then that Monday is the, you said February 1st on Monday is February 1st?
When is your event? February 1st.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it the first weekend of February? 'Cause that's February 6th.
I wish you should do this from December.
So the first week, February 1st week. Okay, so the 1st through the 6th, sometime in between there.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
So probably the money for
Okay.
this
See, okay, they have two events, March 19th and May 15th, after, spring. So what we could do is we can allocate money for those two events, and you could use it for Good Faith for the February event. Then just make sure you resubmit those two events for May and March, for if we do allocate the money towards that February event. But, you're saying 800 for that? Okay, 800 for the February event? Okay, so we could just we can use it for that event instead of the end of the year party for the end of the semester party for spring 2016. But what you would have to do is resubmit the end of the semester party for spring 2016 if we do that. And if we do that, we'll let you know how it was allocated for what events.
So
And
to
then-
sum that up, we're gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna give you the money for this closest event. We're gonna give you the money for the event that you've already requested. You use it for your upcoming February event. Then you're gonna have to make that request again for your end of year party, because you didn't do it this time. Remember, we talked about it, you didn't make this request. If you want the end of year party to happen, you're going to have to make sure you don't forget to make that request later. Use the money in your account for the most recent upcoming event, February.
And make
See
sure
what I'm
you
saying?
have the account balance ready next time too, the current account.
Then apply it again.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question. If we have some activity during the summer, can we apply that this semester, this academic year?
Yes, it's just that we're not active in the summer, student government isn't active in the summer anymore. But we could use that from this academic year's funding, I believe, right? Yeah. So
You'll be better off to make that request in the spring if you have money left over.
Is it before or after July?
Oh,
No, you're-
before August, before the next semester, 2016.
It will
depend on where.
I mean, no. Before 2016,
But what if they get a stuff paid for before
Which
that?
month you have? June,
Like
July, or November?
the end of August.
End of August?
We'll discuss it next time.
End of August, we'll be back in school.
We can, and again, we can discuss that again the next time you guys come in, or you can come down to our office and we'll have a more detailed discussion about that.
Okay, because every year, Chinese new students from the country, so international
It's
students,
like a
they will
welcome
come.
party.
Yeah, we have a welcome party for them, and it's very big.
Okay.
So, and that happened during the summer. This summer, we didn't have money, so
Yeah.
it's not good for us.
It's just the only thing we only can fund you up to 5,000 per academic year.
Yeah.
So you gotta, so if the event is before July, or if you pay the vendors before July, then we could fund that event for this academic year. But if it's after that, then we can't really fund it because we're not active in the summer anymore.
Yeah, I know. Also, before July.
Yeah, like the event or your payments have to be processed before July.
Oh, you mean we got spend money for
Yes.
ahead before
Correct.
the event? Oh, gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So make sure that you do those March and May requests again in
No,
January.
just the, just the May event,
Just the May.
because it's $800 for the February.
Just New Year, Chinese New Year party.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, end of semester. It's the end of semester party.
So she has to.
Chinese.
Chinese students. No, students,
CSSA.
yes.
Alright, so this is out of the lab budget?
Are they here?
Black Studies Week, Afrovite, and Tau Beta Pi did not show up.
We did not?
No.
So we got strike.
So
So they're, if they show up now, they're at the end.
Tau Beta Pi, too.
Yeah.
Those three in a row did not come.
I'm surprised Afrovite didn't show up there.
And then American Marketing Association is coming there.
Well, they're 10 bucks right now, so it should be showing up right now. Or if not, they're at the end. We actually organized now and everyone's not here.
I know.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Tired.
I'm happy it's Friday.
It's raining.
I'm Jamie. Nice to meet you.
I'm Simi.
Hello. Hello, I'll probably ask your name set down the time because
That's
I
okay.
suck at names.
It's fine.
That's my mom's name, so yours is easy to remember.
So AMA, what you heard?
Yeah. I do that all the time. I resend it. I don't know.
I don't have PowerPoint, I have just a piece of paper that
Are there more people out there? Are there more people out there?
It's the 2 beta pi. So our leader is the treasurer of the institute. These are just the documents that actually shows like how much we spent last semester, like 2014 spring. So. My name is Kitab and I'm a treasurer for Tau Beta Pi. And today I'm here for a budget request of $2,500 for a spring semester. And actually the budget I actually divided into 3 categories. The one would be initiation, which is one of our biggest expense. And we do about 1,200 to 1,500 depending upon how many members we initiate that semester. So I put in the 1,500 because of the fact that we don't know how many people we're going to initiate. And our biggest expense would be our food at that time, and also the like a pendants and all that other stuff that we get from Tau Beta headquarters. And then another thing I put into there is I believe it was a $600, which is like an operational cost, and also I include the stuff called the Mindset program, where we actually go to different schools and we actually try to pursue these small students towards more science field. So that's like a nationally renowned Mindset program we do actually. And I think it was a $250 a one-time fee.
Yeah, so you did This is for spring?
Yes.
Okay, it says fall 2016. But, do you have more of a breakdown for the fall initiation expense? Like, instead of just the clear, 1,500?
Right, that's where I have this document that you can actually look into.
Oh, you got it, okay.
Yes, because there is an invoice that coming from the Tabitha headquarters office, and also
Alright.
the invoice that actually that I got it from the old bank as well.
What exactly is your organization?
It's a
Tabitha Pi.
Like it's a fraternity
Yeah.
for.
Oh, it's for the engineering honor society.
Okay, thank you.
And the one that actually I kind of like make with the pen note, that's actually like the money that has been taken out from the auction, and that's going to include the food wise, the drinks that we actually provided in the initiation.
Now, do you have a current account balance?
Yes, it's right there.
980.
980, yes.
Okay.
August 1st, 2013.
That's starting off there, and whatever the amount at the bottom. Yeah, and actually that hasn't actually accounted for how much we paid for last semester, which is the top amount in the auction, which is $200-something.
224?
Yeah, that hasn't been taken out of my account yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 980 minus 224.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think we have all the breakdowns.
Right. Awesome. Did you want this back?
I mean,
we should keep it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Is there anything else, guys?
No,
All right, thank you, because I have to run to the initiation, actually.
Good luck.
All right, thank you. I'll see you guys.
All those were they're gonna be postponed in the bottom, right? It was,
Well, that guy showed up on time.
yes.
They have $756.04 in their account.
700 and what?
56.
Hi.
Hi.
That's me.
Going to Orleans.
Yes, hopefully if I can get it.
I just went there.
We went there last year and our hotel room was haunted, but the conference was
Oh,
It's a different place. We woke up and there was nothing Bible on the nightstand.
That's creepy.
scared.
Like either someone came in or it was a ghost, and I don't know which one was like more terrifying, but I told the girls, I was like, it was a ghost. I have a cute little PowerPoint when people need.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's the American market.
He's out there. He used to kind of like fences last year.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, that's what we already decided.
Like 4 of them, sure.
You even, I saw all your nice emails that you sent.
No, I can do that. I have two young.
I actually checked out this.
How do you want this direct? Do you want me to just kind of run through this
Yeah.
slides? Okay. Well, hi, my name is Alyssa Tennant, and I am the president of the American Marketing Association on campus. We are the only marketing student organization, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. Just a little quick run through. So our goal is to provide real-world experiences professionally to students. Like I said, we're the only marketing association, and actually the marketing major is growing so rapidly from freshmen declaring their major and going all 4 years that the marketing department is a little bit stressed out. And we've been working really closely with them this year to get all those students in the organization and accommodated and bring them real-life marketing experiences so they know what they're doing and that they want to commit to this major. This is our mission statement. I'm really proud of it. It gives me chills. So it's more, I'm going to read it out loud because I think it's that great. So it's more than academics, it's professionalism, it's real world application, it's a community, it's a pathway to success. This is the CSU main thing. So what we're doing for students at CSU, our main thing every single year is we do go to New Orleans for the International Collegiate Conference presented by the National American Marketing Association. It's in New Orleans every year. I don't know if you may recall, this was a couple years back, but every year they have a huge case competition that's sponsored by a major corporation. 3 years back, it was sponsored by Take 5, and the Marketing Association team from Cleveland State won 3rd place out of 100-something schools from Canada, Puerto Rico, Mexico, the United States. I'm in that case class right now. We've been working on it. This year it's Icebreaker's Cool Blast Cheese. So if we get in the top 10 honorable mention, we will be going to New Orleans to present it. Even if we don't, we still want to go to New Orleans because the winner always has a really, really great presentation. But besides that presentation, there's a bunch of different speakers from Hershey's, Coca-Cola, all these things. We network, it's a great time. On campus, however, throughout the year, we focus on guest speakers and workshops. We have tours of local Cleveland companies. A lot of our speakers come from those companies. We like to have really close relations. We're having a Meet the Marketers career fair. We have membership holiday parties, and then we have a lot of community service events. We are doing a toy drive coming up for the Salvation Army, and then we're going to the Salvation Army to package those up. We also work with Motley Crue, which is a little pit bull rescue organization. So this is our budget that we submitted on BoardSync. I believe you should have a copy of it. If you don't, here it is. So this would be for on-campus events, and our 3 main areas would be communications, membership, professional development. All of these things, except for the membership incentives, would be open to all CSU students. So I mean, we're really proud of the website, csuama.com. Flyers and pre-advertising, we run ads in the cauldron for our fundraisers, flyers to give out on campus, and then professional development. We have to rent rooms for the big events we do with the Cleveland AMA. So room rentals, parking requests for speakers, and then coffee, because every business student needs coffee. For off-campus, our only event is New Orleans. We're not doing any regional conferences this year because it doesn't fit in with anybody's schedule and it's a little bit pricey. So we're only doing New Orleans, and a plane ticket for one person to New Orleans round trip is $568. So that is where most of our money is going. Just to be clear, we do a lot of internal fundraising as well. We actually have one tonight at Dive Bar, 21 and up, 20 hours all you can drink. We sold a lot of tickets. It's going to be super fun. So if you're not doing anything tonight, $25 at the door, all you can drink, all you can eat pizza. And we have a really close relationship with Dive Bar, so we're doing another one in the spring. We have basketball marketing night, that career fair that we charge people to come at a table at. And so our estimated revenue from internal fundraising is about $3,000 a year. And that's the summary. I talk really fast, but I feel like you guys want me to rush because there's people out there, which is why I did that. This is awesome that you're marketing, so you get it.
Yeah,
and I love seeing how we're doing fundraising.
Email us that?
Yeah, totally. No.
Thank you.
What email do I send it to? If you have a card?
Treasurer.
The SG
Those are the ones. If you have a card? Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Does anybody have a question?
No, you guys laid it out really nicely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You hear back from us next week?
All right, cool. I will let my numbers know. I don't know how to take this out. I don't want to ruin it.
What airline are you flying?
The only tickets available right now are Delta. That's the only one that has theirs scheduled right now. You go on Kayak, Expedia, Priceline, whatnot. But we don't usually buy until like 6 to 8 weeks beforehand.
Try Spirit. I know it's like
I just went to Florida on Spirit. They charged me $100 for bags. They're killing me.
they did charge you with the bags.
Yeah, just maybe look on Kayak because it shows you every flight line and every price, like Frontiers.
I'm aiming for
Delta,
Frontier.
Continental, everything.
I love Frontier. They're always so smooth and nice.
Okay, good. That's why I went to
I flew to Florida on Frontier and back on Spirit, and I felt like I was just careening towards my destination at 500 miles an hour on Spirit. I was like,
That's okay. I mean, they're not, like, they don't have any.
These were ours from last year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Would you like your own too?
What organization was it? Which organization?
Very cute, 515.
Maybe that's the other ones.
Do you guys want us to start?
What organization are you?
So we're the Sociology and Criminology Club. I'm Dr. Marcus Madani, the faculty of bioservices.
Charlie Chico, president of
Yeah, sure. We gave you guys a little proposal, because we only have 5 minutes here. What we're trying to do, what the club wants to do, is what we did last year. We want to bring Tom B.K. Goldtooth, recent Gandhi Peace Award winner. Last Friday, he got that. This is an award that was won by Martin Luther King, as well as Eleanor Roosevelt and others. We were lucky enough to get him through SGA last year to give a presentation. What we want to do this year is build on that and expand the program a little bit, okay? What that entails is bringing not 2 speakers, but 3 speakers, okay? They will give a large public talk at the MC Auditorium, what we did last year. Then they will be free to go to different classes, okay? And that's to be decided at this point, all right?
And that would be all sociology 210 classes?
Yeah, 210 classes or any faculty member that wants them to come. But we will have a large public presentation on Monday evening, April 4th, okay? Last year we had how many people show up?
350?
I think it was like 250, and then they came to one class. They socialized a lot informally with students. Again, this is the Indigenous Environmental Network. It is a nonprofit, a Native American nonprofit based in Bemidji. Goldtooth is recognized throughout the world for his take on climate change, indigenous human rights, globalization, and how that affects indigenous people, including American Indians, Native Americans, if you like, all right? The other flip side to this is that I am an instructor of a course called Sociology 210. This is part of what we expose our students to. And so just very quickly, this is Tom. We were covered by the flame dealer, okay? Karen Farkas helped us, and I put that in a little memo here. That's Tom receiving the Gandhi Peace Award, okay? And then here's what we did at Cleveland State. These are now modules in my course. So students, I mean, our potential base here is 4,000 or 5,000 students maybe, because this is a massive general ed course. It cranks about 1,300, 1,500 students per annum. So, I mean, the audience is there. The general public shows up. We also have a connection with, believe it or not, the Native American community here in Northeast Ohio. Now we have people coming, you know. We already know who they are. We're in touch with them.
Part of what made last year such a success is that it wasn't just current students, former students from several semesters back showed up. I believe you emailed a lot of your older classes. People brought parents. It was impressive. I was pretty amazed at how many people showed. The variation of the people who showed.
And this is here in our MC Auditorium. So that's just, we have this film, and we made 5 talks out of it. They're now in the course curriculum for Sociology 210. In addition, I unfortunately contracted to write the textbook for this class, okay? And then this, what we did last year is now a big part. So it gives us an opportunity to expand and enhance the diversity, right? By bringing forward a group that is not well known, but culturally speaking, they're monumental. You know, very important.
Anybody have questions?
Yes. So you're asking for out of the CoLab budget?
I talked to Bob Bergman about this beforehand, and he said we could ask for 5,000 from SGA and 5,000 from somewhere else.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. So you guys can use your full 5,000, which is your full fiscal year amount, and then 5,000 from CoLab. But our committee could explore possibly more, or, you know, whatever, at a later time. But that is possible.
Yeah.
Whether you get 7,000 CoLab, and we take 3,000 out of your regular budget, or we do 5,000 from one of the two. Either way.
But our regular budget, because you asked for that, we have $368 right now. We're not, you know.
Yeah.
368.
Do you guys have other events planned for the year?
this was all we have planned right now. We were talking about having a sort of a roundtable with several professors in the department, undergraduates as well as GAs, talking to trio students about careers in sociology.
The question is, do you guys not have other events planned because of how big this is and how much money goes into it? Or is it because you guys aren't wanting to have a bunch of events?
Well, actually both. You know, we decided to resource and focus on this event. We've been talking about this in September. We had a bunch of events last year, which we did not use any funding. We used our own little budget, you know, for pizza or something like that.
What was it,
It was
four-part
exhausting.
speaker series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have one event. We brought in the graduate director of Kent State University to talk to prospective graduate students. So we decided, Charles.
That was earlier this
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, Charles decided and the officers decided to kind of keep something more organic, ad hoc, without going through OrgSync, SGA, and so forth. This was our big event. We had another one planned with another person, but that didn't pan out. It broke down after a while. We're going to bring in a big-time scholar. Remember that?
Yes, yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah. This is kind of it. I mean, our big funded event, you know, other things we do.
Okay. That's it for me as far as questions go.
So, okay. So if we allocate 5,000 out of the finance budget, then you guys would have no more money for the rest of the academic year to spend money on events. So the reason why we're asking that, so like if we were to allocate like, let's say like 6,000 from CoLab, then have 4,000 for finance, so you could have 1,000 left over from the finance budget if we do allocate up to that. So you could do like other events throughout the year for like with 1,000 left that you have left over plus the 360 or 368 or whatnot.
Would you feel comfortable with that?
Would you be comfortable with 1,000 left over? for the rest of the
Absolutely.
year?
That'll allow us to do a number drive in the spring. Pizza, kind of luncheon thing.
The Social Crim Club was dead for a number of years, and then Charles and I kind of brought it back together, you know? And so we kind of stumbled our first year. The second year, we pulled this off. What we're finding out from experience, from praxis, is that there's open windows, you know? Maybe week 3 in the semester to right after midterms, but like right now in November, forget it. It's finals, it's 2 weeks. You know, I'm an instructor, I'm beat, Charles.
Nobody
It's a
shows up
start.
anyway.
No one
to try to
shows
have
up.
anything this late in the semester. so.
It really takes a lot of work to get anything off. So that's why we're ahead of the curve a little bit with this one, because it's a big one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
No other
Thank you.
questions?
No.
Okay. How do I get this out? Because I don't want to lose my lecture for Monday. Thank you, people. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That era.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute now. Oh, God, is this your test score? Is this your scantron? Or is this Malik's scantron?
Obviously.
Okay, guys.
Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
Great. Do we 5 minutes? I hope.
Yeah, probably.
I don't have a card.
That's fine, you can come in.
All right. Do we have anything?
Cheese.
Oh, I have cheese if anybody's.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all for your time.
Thank you, have a good weekend.
That's from the first hearing, we actually we didn't skip her, we got confused with her.
By Triple E.
So she's representing her case.
Okay, so my name is Mallory. I'm with Ada Kappa Nu. It's kind of confusing last time for the different events that we were having. So I'm just mainly focusing on what my organization is doing and the events that like we're asking for money for these 2 semesters. So we actually just had our first event tonight, and that was a seminar that was presented by one of our professors here at Cleveland State. And there was about 70, 75 people that showed up, and it was students, it was different professors from the university, it was members of the Control Society of Cleveland too. So we had a really good turnout. We used our one-time $250 that was awarded to us for today's event. And we use about $215, $220 of it. The other event that we're going to have next semester is our main event, and that's our induction ceremony. So for that, it is, in order to be in Ada Capanu. You have to be chosen by the staff of the engineering department, so it's an honorary club, and so you have to be selected to be in it, and that's kind of the missions of our organization, is to promote academic excellence. So we really would like money for that, because it's the students that are chosen, their families come, and it's a nice event in the evening, and we just have drinks and hors d'oeuvres for them. It's not a huge thing. So we were asking for $250 for that. And then if you want me to touch base on the IEEE, since we are the honors portion of IEEE, they had come to us, and we were, because of them being in the joint club with us, they wanted to see if we could help them with the fundraising, or not fundraising, but the money for their t-shirts that they have for the events. So a lot of our members, well, all of our members are in IEEE, so we do attend those events, and especially with their two events, the big events that they have, the VEX and the SAC that are coming up. So a lot of our members will be attending those events, so that's why they were wondering if we could help them out. But then as for just us and our induction ceremony, we're totally separate from them.
It's about 3 pages.
It's 3 pages?
Yeah. Actually,
Why is it P?
I just think it's
We have 2 pages.
Yeah, it's 2 pages. Is it three? Yeah, wait. Oh, no, that's it, yeah, it is 3 pages.
3 pages.
He wrote it wrong.
So you're asking out of collab budget for the SAC?
What's that?
You're asking out of the collaboration budget for student activities conference?
Yeah. For the t-shirts to help them out.
Help IEEE, yeah. So
For help, yeah.
if she wants to collaborate with us, she wants to help them out.
Oh, because the collaboration budget is like an event you do with SGA.
Oh,
So
okay.
that would just be
And that was
out
my
of your.
That's a
misunderstanding.
common.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I was thinking.
You're collaborating with
Collaborating with
IEEE.
another, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That would probably.
So that would be.
But that would come out of
funds.
your 5,000 budget. So is that something you
I mean, I know my professor when we talked, or our advisor, she said that, if we could help IEEE out, that would be great, because we all are part of that organization as well. But she was just really mainly focused on making sure we have enough funds to fund our induction ceremony for the spring.
And that's $250 for that?
$250.
Oh, yeah.
No, she
No,
already
we just
used
used
that.
our one-time $250 tonight.
The rest of the funding is for, it looks like
She's
training and
asking
marketing.
for
Yeah.
2,725 total.
And then, yeah.
And you said
And
you,
475 less for this ceremony.
Yeah. And we already, like I said, we already used that one-time $250.
and do you have
That was
a
all.
current account balance?
Off the top of my head, not right now.
Okay.
We just have what's left over from that, so.
So it should be
$5.
like
Well,
$30.
the one-time 250.
Yeah, I can email you with that amount.
Yeah, everything looks good though. Those are all things that we can fund, and you have plenty of money still to be requested, so.
Okay, great. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So she's aware that out of her 5,000, she's using the one.
That's what I just said earlier, so she said, yeah. She had the cutest bag when she came to the office the other day.
Yeah, bag, yeah, that's what I was.
We don't
Yeah.
fund people based on their badness.
That's what I was.
Actually, no, we didn't. We fund the engineers because they were sexy. So.
CSU, the backup free.
It was just a joke.
My name is Lisa Sandor, and I'm the staff advisor for the CSU Tobacco Free Board.
And I'm Courtney Dunn, and I'm the treasurer for the organization. And our board works to raise awareness on the campus policy of tobacco-free, and we strive to inform people of the rules and also to increase agreement with the rules, so decrease the amount of people smoking. We try to go on campus patrols and we approach people who are smoking or using tobacco on campus and try to ask them to stop doing that. And we also just try to get other people to follow the rules and encourage others to follow the campus policy. And so with that, on our budget, we've asked for clothing items such as t-shirts, fleece, hats, and gloves. And for that, we need the t-shirts to look uniform when we approach people, because that can raise the amount of compliance they have with us, and they realize we're part of an organization, so then people have more respect towards us instead of just blowing us off and just continuing to smoke on campus. And the other items are for our members when we go out during the winter, because we still do our campus patrols when it's cold outside, so the fleece and the hat and the gloves can help us with that. We also asked for money to provide hot cards, which this is an example of our hot card. And so this has information about smoking, the tobacco-free policy on it, and also has a campus map. And the yellow highlighted areas are where you can smoke, that areas that are publicly owned, not by CSU. So these are things that we hand out to people who are using tobacco so they're aware of the rules. And so we asked for that to get those from the print shop, because we can always use more of those. And also we asked for money for Quit Kits, and these we would hand out at our promotional events, such as the Great American Smokeout, which is next week, or the Wellfest that's in the spring. And they have items that can help people to quit smoking, such as anything to repeat the action of smoking, or like chewing gum. And then we also provide like bracelets, the rubber band bracelets that say I'm tobacco free. And so those can help our students who are trying to quit smoking. We also have a pin making machine, and for that we compared the prices that you would pay to get pins made by the AG promo, and the prices for that compared to buying the machine actually costs less, and we can use it for years in the future, so then we don't have to continue asking for money to pay for those supplies. And those are other things we would hand out at campus events to show that students support the policy and just to raise awareness that we're a tobacco-free campus. And then lastly, we have our educational awareness and promotional objects, which we have investigated lots of different options for this, and we found one it's a fold-out board, and inside of it, it has different effects of smoking on your health. For example, there's it shows cancerous lungs. It shows what the arteries look like when they're clogged from smoking. It has a premature baby, so this is something that can get the attention of people who are smoking, and for them to realize the effect it can have with their health. And that's another thing that we would set out at our promotional events.
Can I ask how many members you are?
I think we have, yeah, about.
And all these people are going out on patrols with you?
Mm-hmm. We have you have to attend 2 patrols or 2 meetings to become an official member of the group, and most people haven't yet had the opportunity to go to 2 patrols, but as they continue to build up their status as an official member, we'll have more.
We've let them know that if they aren't being an active member, we're going to remove them from the status. And at the same time, we want to do more outreach events to get support. We were at the Welcome Back event at the beginning of the fall semester and had 60 students say they wanted to be members. So since it's a university policy, we really want to do the best we can to make sure that people are aware of the policy, because incoming students or transfer students or visitors don't necessarily know. This is the same with new faculty and staff. And then we are in the process of getting an approval of an enforcement And the biggest concern is for international students because, you know, if they're written up, we did have a few students last year that were written up and it threatened their visa status. So we want to do all we can to have more support resources and more information, including, but not limited to, the e-cigarettes, because so many students don't really realize it's formaldehyde and there are nicotine substances in those. So it's kind of, we want to do the best we can to be supportive with the education on why you'd want to consider being tobacco-free, secondhand smoke for others that aren't choosing to, all the litter that goes across campus that affects cost and time of our plant services folks to clean it up, and just how it makes the campus look, you know, that kind of thing.
How effective has it been so far, your organization?
As we go on patrols, we keep track of the amount of cigarette butts we find on the ground and the number of people. And last year on our graphs, you could see the numbers significantly going down. So when people realize that there are consequences for doing it and that there are people checking up on it, then that does cause the amount of people smoking on campus to decrease.
Any other question?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what?
You will know in like a week if you're fine.
The 23rd.
23rd? By 23rd is approved or not approved?
Okay, and how do we get informed what was?
That email.
An email? Okay, thank
And
you.
if you have any further questions, just stop by the office.
Uh,
It's on the interlink.
Okay.
Student Center.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next is Golden Key.
Did you say 3 months?
Was it?
Did you originally say 3 months?
No, I said Monday.
So you get, okay, guys.
The next is Golden Key.
All right, we need to be more prompt about all this and make sure we're making time checks for people.
Sorry, I zoned out.
I know, I asked a question and there was like a 10-minute answer. Those questions.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a PowerPoint, or are you guys presenting?
April, how many awards are you in?
So I'm in 5 and I'm a founder of 1, but I'm trying to cut it down. So I'm going to do a Golden Key first and then briefly do the state transportation. I know you have a few minutes. So for the Golden Key International Honor Society, we would like to do our new member recognition event. In the new member recognition event, we would like to invite other students. As you know, Golden Key International Honor Society is for students that are in the top 15% of the class. So we want to show students that are not in that 15% of the class, and to invite students on campus and show them the things that we do, so they could hopefully motivate them to do everything they need to do to be in Golden Key. So the new member recognition event, we would like to invite students, like I said, that are new members of this Golden Key International Honor Society, and then also a guest of each student would have to be a Cleveland State student, and that is not in the society. So with that, we would like to, of course, have the invitation open to everyone. And as far as the budget, did you get the breakdown of the things that we asked for? So and this has been an event that we usually do every year as annual. So this would be the last of our event, and we actually do fundraisers as well as have the student organization do the funding overall.
We already really much to manage will go. Last year, we managed to say the budget below 2,000 because, like she said, we had about like 100 cases. So when we estimate for one person of like 20,000, so 20,000 but we managed to stay so everyone for this event like only 17.45.
Now, can you clarify the room rental you're going through conference services for the room?
So the room rental fee should be basically when we do the audio and visual, they do include I don't know if that's gonna be a charge, but usually when we do a reserve, this has been our budget that we present, and actually just to make sure that there isn't any issues with the tablecloth, because we have to order the gold and the blue tablecloths, and then also the audio visual, just to make sure everything is set up, because we usually do Finn Tower, Finn Ballroom.
Yeah, can you guys double check on that? Because I thought it was free for CSU students, but.
Yeah, not with the tablecloths, because these organizations, if they do the linens, you always have to pay for the linens.
All right. Thank you so much.
Is there any other question?
Awesome.
No, sounds good.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We will give it by November 25th.
Okay, and just a quick thing for Student State Transfer Connection, sorry about this. So I know that we're at 6 o'clock, so at least that'll be good job faster.
We actually cannot
Yeah.
schedule those. We cannot do that. Because last time we had
Okay.
7.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, did we ask for their current balance? Do we have a current?
Hi everyone, good evening.
Next semester should be like something that everyone has to say. Maybe when we set up that next
Just
time.
Indian or
So far,
Check over here. Matt.
So, sorry, when I was asleep, like locks it.
it's like light.
That one?
Yeah, put the lights on.
They should be down already.
No.
Is that?
Oh, no. That's fine.
That's better?
Yeah, that's fine.
We're celebrating Holi in next semester, like in spring, in the month of March. So I just want to tell you what Holi is about. So Holi is a Hindu festival. It is celebrated in early March, where in our language we call it Falgun, the month of Falgun. It's actually a festival of colors, so we throw colors on our friends and families. It's a fun festival. It is celebrated as the Lord Krishna and Lord Radha, Goddess Radha's festival. It is also called the Spring Festival, as it marks the arrival of spring, the season of hope and joy. We pray that we get more sunlight after the festival is celebrated. It seems rejoices at the arrival of Holi and wears its best clothes, filled with crops promising a good harvest to the farmers, and flowers bloom, coloring the surroundings and bringing fragrance in the air. The colors which we use for Holi are made from the flowers of Tesu and Palash tree, which we get in India, and it is called as Gulal. The colors are used to be very good for skin, as no chemicals are added into it. So this is how it is. So we'll go for the budget for Holi. So we need total 3,000. 1,000 from that will be for t-shirts, which we have to wear white t-shirts for that, because we use colors and also we cannot use regular clothes. So 1,000 for those t-shirts, 500 for colors, which we bring, 1,000 for food. We're planning for sweets, drinks, and some food, some special food from India, and 500 more for DJ. So it's total 3,000 for visiting.
So your budget is different from whatever you put in the books?
Yeah, we just started a slight change in that.
Are you guys aware of your current balance?
Yeah,
Okay, and what is that?
it's 2,950.
No. What your current balance in your account?
The one we got approved,
No, whatever is left in your account.
yeah, it's 2,950. And then 250 one-time allotment, so it's around 3,300.
So you have that money in your account?
Yeah.
So that's 2,950? Okay. We allocated you so far $2,050.
50, yeah.
No, he's actually confused with that question. He said that's how much money they're requesting.
Yeah. How much money do you guys have in the bank right now before we're giving you any money?
Remember the last time we funded you $2,050? Have you used that or not yet?
Yeah, we use it.
Okay.
So you guys have $0 in your account?
No, I guess a balance of 200.
Okay.
Because we didn't use it for the rental car, so a balance of 200.
Okay, so that's good. Because you can get 5,000 per academic year, because the 3,000 would push you $50 over, but if we take account of your current balance, then we can allocate with reference with that.
2,950 is the max we can fund.
Yeah. So we have already had a $200 balance, so that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we can cover it.
Okay.
What is your collaboration with ASEI in case, what is that going to bring?
We usually do every event with we collaborate with the ASEI and students of K-Western, Indian Student Organization of K-Western. So like every time for the events, they are inviting us. So in the same way, we are inviting for our events. Then.
So basically they're not using your money. Right?
No.
Does anyone have a question?
No.
And these are the pictures of last year Holi's. It was fun thing, funny.
Where do you guys get the powder from?
From the Indian stores.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they're gonna import from the India.
No, I mean, I remember seeing this last year.
Okay.
Like albums and
No, other two orgs are funding too? Are they getting funding for this event too?
I'm sorry?
Is ASEI and ISO from CASE using funding from
No,
them?
no.
No, they just invite them to
Okay.
their event, and they get invited to their
And they
events.
invite us, so they sing with you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Take care, guys.
That was saying that this is subtract for 250 for 200. And then 850 subtracted by 500.
The current amount that they're requesting would be subtracted by the 200, so they're requesting $2,800, so we can get up to $2,800.
Thank you everyone. Have a good night.
Now, who is this?
Do we wait on Narendra?
You don't know.
Really? Okay. So thank you for meeting with us today. We're here on behalf of Secular Student Alliance. My name is Patricia Concepcion, and I'm the president, and with me.
I'm Scott Britton, I'm the secretary.
Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. We're requesting $63, that huge amount, at this funding hearing. So the first portion of that will be for our recruitment event. We're requesting $53 for that. It's our final recruiting event of the semester, so we're hoping that we can get as many CSU students as possible. The event will be on Friday, December 4th at 5:30 p.m. We want the $53, $37 to go to pizza, $5 for soda, and $5 for chips, so that totals to $47. And with the remaining $6, we want to purchase plates, napkins, and cups. Again, this event is open to all CSU students, and it's our last big event of the semester, so again, we're just trying to get in as many new members as possible, and we figured what better way than free pizza.
And to advertise for this event and for future SSA events, we want to request $10 for a box of paper, which is 500 sheet paper. That's likely to cover us for one academic year, if not more. As the only group on campus for secular students, advertising is really important for us, and most of our new members come from us through our flyers that we posted on campus. We've also discovered that hot cards are really expensive, so we thought we want to save some money and print our own advertisement.
Okay, so any questions about the funds?
That was great.
That was great.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great
And
weekend.
just so you know, you guys, I don't wanna like ruin how great you guys have been with like being fiscally responsible, but you guys do have up to $5,000 for the year. And you've only spent, you know, 1,425, and then including whatever we give you for this.
We're planning on spending some next semester.
We're
Which is
saving
very
it up to
responsible.
next
Yeah.
semester. So
Yeah.
thanks for your time.
Later, Kat, thank you.
We didn't get a break.
No, we're behind, that's why, because
We should have been more.
how many members do you have?
see towards the end.
When I asked the current comment, it's always the same.
Oh, one of those.
They don't know.
She's really nice.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think classes of Scott forever.
Oh, wait, yeah, she's hoping to answer.
Like, I gave her
I'm gonna make sure
Order
you
that
the
and go
flyers
back.
are around.
Making everybody stay awake.
It was perfect. It really gave me
Hello.
I like your skirt.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Huh?
Let's go.
No, they'll just be, actually, is it okay if I
mean,
sit on the board just to remember a thing?
You're making a transition this year?
Yeah, that's our new president, Kieran, and Chelsea's our treasurer.
Nobody's there.
Hi.
Right.
Okay, I'm Chelsea. I'm the new treasurer of Trinity Love. This is Karen, our president. And we have an event going on called Trinity Love, which will bring the circuit riders that from California. We'll bring them into the auditorium, which we hope to spread the love and hope to the students on campus through this event. I also have just a budget breakdown to hand out to you guys. In this event, we hope to bring the students together to build new friendships, to allow them to perform in the arts, to allow us to have people join on to our organization. We're very adamant about excellence and bringing the students together with excellence. In our budget breakdown, we actually went $250 over, which will be covered by the one-time $250. So we wanted to mention that on there. We have $825.99 in our account. That money will be going towards the cover the cost for promotion tables for the month of November, it'll be January before February, which we actually plan on doing the event. It'll cover the food, the sound, the games for the students, and the food from across the date of the event for the students, and for the for when we do the whole production, the students at the production, and that's what that money will cover. We also hope that with doing this event, we can draw out students and help the students that feel lonely or feel depressed can spread the love. We plan to use our Carry the Love t-shirts, the wristbands in order to bring awareness to the event. In our past events, over the last 4 years, we've reached 5,000 students, and we hope this year we'll be able to transform more lives and just pour more love and more hope into them.
And this is your first time this year asking for money?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're testing for $500, right?
Yes.
We can't fund
We only-
giveaways for the concert. We don't fund giveaways or prizes, so it's the only thing that we would have.
Okay.
And you can use 5,000 for the academic year. So are you okay using that on this one night?
Yes.
Alright. And I don't see any other questions for me. All is good.
Does anyone have a question? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for seeing us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You guys have a good
Thanks for the
evening.
breakdown. It was awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Your organizations need to teach the bad ones what to do. Our president prayed for me last time. What?
Hi. Do you have a PowerPoint?
Yes.
Do you want?
Wait, so it's a Christian organization?
No,
Jabberwocky form, but it's a prayer thing.
If these 4 organizations didn't show up till 6:15,
Then we're done.
Correct. Is that
Yeah.
cool with that?
That's fine.
I don't want to wait till 7 o'clock yet. Ready, boom, 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 boom.
You don't matter.
You guys use their organizers?
I hope this didn't like die.
You guys are ready.
So we're back on schedule based on adjustments. Good enough talking? You can start.
Okay. I'm from the 1964 Society. The 1964 Society is formerly the Student Alumni Association on campus. What we do is we try to forge a relationship between students and alumni, as well as create a great environment for students here on campus to build a lifelong loyalty so that they will stay with the university as alumni and give back. We have a current membership total of about 600 members. One of the things that we do every year is Flashback Friday. This will be our 4th Flashback Friday coming up. Some of the ones that we've had in the past were the 60s and 70s. We had a 90s theme where we actually had a human Mario Kart race. And this year we want to flash back to the age of the Vikings. Some things that we're requesting is we're requesting $500 for catering. We are expecting about 400 students to come to this event. So I just used the different prices from our CSU catering. It's going to cost us $1,100, but we're only going to request $500 from you guys right now. Next thing we want to do is some of our marketing and promo items for this. We're going to have hot cards and posters just to advertise the event. From using duplicating in the past, these are the different amounts that we will be charged. We also want to give out to students a lot of really, really fun stuff because it is Viking themed. We want to give out some foam Viking swords, some Viking hats. CAB gave out similar ones not too long ago. We want to do some fake beards, and we want to give t-shirts to the first 100 people. So with that, going through approved CSU vendors, the swords that we can get about 250 of those for around $350. Next, we want to do the t-shirts. The money that I have for the t-shirts here is a little bit higher. This is based on our membership t-shirts that we got not too long ago. We also added shipping and screen printing fees in there as well from the different vendors. The next is the Viking helmets. I got this number from CAB. They sent me their vendor, and this was the thing it was from. Next thing is the fake beards. We aren't quite sure where we're going to get those from because it's kind of hard to find a place that sells fake beards in bulk. But we're pretty excited to figure that out. So we just wanted maybe $340 just to round it up to the $2,000 for our marketing. We also want to do supplies. This is going to be a large event. It's going to be held in Mather Mansion in March. We want to have a balloon arch just to bring more people into Mather Mansion. And we're going to go through the Balloon Crew, which is another group vendor at Cleveland State. We also are looking to get tablecloths and streamers just to decorate the first floor of Mather Mansion. We also do want some entertainment. We would like a DJ. Dave Sinek is a DJ that has been used by multiple organizations on campus, and we used him for our launch party at the beginning of this year. So our current account balance on OrgSync, since you guys did ask for that, is $2,558.85. And the last time that our student organization received money from SGA was July 1st, 2023. Yes.
How much the whole event cost?
The whole thing they're asking is $3,250.
So how much like so there's the whole breakdown?
Yeah, that yeah, it's the whole breakdown.
We do not fund giveaways. So like we can't fund giveaways, so the Viking helmets and the bull.
The thing is, that's
There's a promotion and it's different
That's-
from gifts.
okay, that's okay.
We do from this.
Okay.
We have for like
Yeah,
prizes.
because
Okay, prizes.
prizes for the giveaway clause is for prizes for members. So like
This is different.
Okay.
This is open to the entire university.
So anybody can get it.
Okay, I appreciate you putting your balance in to do that.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
That's great, thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you.
The American Institution of Death.
She's out there.
I did that with you.
Is she actually out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to
Yeah, I have the
for our volunteer. She gave me her email. So I just tell her,
She said she doesn't like that.
Later.
Not super short.
So guys, the one thing that I see as an issue so far is just the time.
Picture.
taking like,
I have it on, sorry, it's not working on my laptop, but I have it on the jump drive too, just in case. Sorry.
What is form? I'm gonna stay.
Me too. Because I had a meeting at 6:30, so
Let's try to run these super fast.
yeah.
Is that Excel PowerPoint?
No, just.
Yeah, if these people show up, literally over there.
Yeah. You want that?
So we gotta make sure. A little bit of work, right? So I'm supposed to put that. This is the macro skill. If press command.
I'm Audrey Basic, I'm the president of AIGA6U, or American Institute of Graphic Artists.
I'm Pedro and I'm the treasurer.
Before we jump into our PowerPoint, we want to talk about what AIGA is. So AIGA is the national organization for graphic designers. So many professionals in the industry are registered through this organization. One thing we're really excited about that just happened this past semester is we became officially recognized as a student chapter through AIGA. So now if you go on AIGA's website, under the student chapters, we're listed there. And a good thing about that is we are going to be asking them for funding as well. They won't give us a lot, but it's one way that we're going to try and get other funds coming into us. And I guess quickly we're going to show you some things that we did last year when we received funding, and then we'll go from there. So we went to Pittsburgh last year. This is Conflict Kitchen, which is a kitchen that serves food from countries that are like the United States is in conflict with. So we as graphic designers talked about how design could be used as an intervention to share this information with other people. This is a museum in Winter called the Mattress Factory. It's very kind of strange. They do installation art, so art that you walk through and walk around and kind of interact with. This is all recognized.
Could you skip to the budget request by numbers?
Sure.
I'm sorry, we just have a lot of,
No, that's
we're
fine.
behind schedule.
Yeah.
So what is investing $5,000?
Yeah. We have an event. We want to bring in someone named Adam Bickerel. He is a hand leather and a freelance designer. This is some of his work. So he draws letters, and he would teach us how to do this. So we're hoping to do that sometime in
also would like to go on a trip to New York City in the spring. So similar to our Pittsburgh trip, we would be reimbursing people. We have more people interested in going than the amount of people that went to Pittsburgh. I attached our calculations of reimbursements, and the hotel went in the request in the Excel document.
We are only allowed to fund 2,000 off campus, so do you think you could fundraise the extra 1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I must have put that in.
No, that's
I
okay.
apologize.
You can use 1,000 for each or whatever.
Well, the handwriting workshop would be on campus.
No, I know, but it's to go to New York, you requested 3,000 total.
Oh,
We can only
okay.
fund 2,000 off campus.
But you guys will still be able to do that, right?
Yeah, we can do that. One thing we're doing for fundraising additionally, well, we get the money from AIG, the national organization, and then I have a t-shirt competition design going right now. We're going to sell t-shirts to the CSU art students.
You can use your one-time for that.
And then one thing that we also requested money for is we provide food at our meetings, which we find to be an effective tool to get more people to join. And the more people we have to join, the more people that can apply through AIJ, the national organization. So the more people we have registered through the national organization, the more money we can apply to through that.
So the event that you just said right now, that's open to everybody, like CSU students and all?
The hand lettering workshop?
So,
The weekly meetings.
the weekly meeting?
Yeah, the weekly meetings are open to everyone. I mean, we typically only get design students, but
If it's a recruitment type event and it's publicized and you guys use like advertisements, like, you know, put out,
we have posters.
you need to do that every single time, and it needs to be more of a recruitment event. It can't be like your day-to-day business activities, because we don't fund food for meetings.
You can use your one-time 250 for that, but
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the way around it. I
I
recommend
mean,
that.
we make new posters like every week for our meetings, and then we have events as well. I guess I don't know.
It's a touchy topic with SGA, because in the past, organizations would have their meetings and they would all chow down on free food that was funded by the school. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a majority of our budget was going to just students taking advantage of money to eat their meetings.
Okay.
So we, nixed
No,
it.
you don't do that. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, we don't fund the closed meetings.
So basically, it's every week we want more students coming, it's not just the same people eating.
Exactly.
Yeah, the same people. So it's just kind of.
I know this is just your first go about with this.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
No, you guys are fine, you guys are fine.
Okay.
And for,
Everything else looks good to me.
and for future reference, for the allocation, it would be out of the non-service events budget request, not collaboration for,
Okay.
for.
That's a common mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you guys
Yeah,
are fine.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your
Okay.
time.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
That's okay.
Were you guys in New Org?
What?
Were you guys in New Org? Like a new student org here, or were you here
No,
last year?
we're just I've never been friends before, so I'm learning.
But I couldn't remember if you guys came last year or what.
I believe we did. Well, I believe the president. Thank you.
if you were sure you haven't had a table, because we don't
I'm
need
so
it.
excited for Ski Club, they came into the office like at 5 now, they always ask questions.
Just, I'll have to recuse myself.
Kinda made more than was necessary for the waivers, so.
Guys, I'm gonna have to recuse myself for this one, because my mother was the treasurer of the ski club in 1984, so.
Bias.
You didn't write that
We'll
down.
write that down.
I said,
Well,
allegiance says.
Dan, you're known for corruption.
At least on tape.
Mom was not part of it.
Yes. No, you're bringing your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hello, my name is D'Artagnan. This is Ron. I'm the treasurer, Mr. President. Should probably know about this before. But we're asking for $1,490 for the beginning budget of Ski Club, considering that we're trying to
Could you just quickly go over what's happening at the ski club overnight trip?
Okay, so what we'll be doing there is we'll be skiing and swimming 2 days. The cost right there, $640. That will cover the cost of the ski passes and the hotel rooms. Right now, we would like 2 hotel rooms. We're not sure if that's going to grow. If so, we'll fundraise for that or come up with the money ourselves, because we know we don't want to ask for extra money we don't need if we're only going to have 2 rooms. So, but what we will be doing is skiing, swimming, playing board games in the room. Those would be the main things.
It's more like a bonding experience for the
One-time $250.
The only so that comes under the code.
What's that?
You did a fundraiser. Yeah. The $250, the no questions asked, we just thought we'd put in there what we'll probably use it for is for additional transportation costs if necessary, and for possible one-time trips.
By the way, just want to throw this in there. We're going to try to have another fundraiser Monday, so in case you guys are interested, you know, it's going to be baked cookies. Nobody can turn down a baked cookie.
Good.
This is great. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for your time.
I love this.
Let you know.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, you're about 2,000 off campus for the year, so the little less that you have will use for us.
Okay. If we choose to ask for that more during the second hearing, can we get that left over?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
You too.
So
They're a new organization, and they did better than the organization that
next year,
no, they were in the office.
Janet, can you please step outside?
Why?
I'm just kidding. Do you have a PowerPoint?
Do I have a what?
PowerPoint?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering, you could get that up there.
Should I just speak, or like you guys ask questions?
Whenever you're ready.
You can just go through each of your requests and tell us.
All right, cool. So the first one was the International Day. We requested $600 for, we're gonna have food, and then we're ordering items off Amazon, like cultural items and flags, and most of the money towards it is for food, and then supplies and attire as listed. Are there any questions for that?
The event is November 18th, which is next week.
Correct.
The hearing budget won't be ratified until that Friday, so you would need to go get your money for the week after.
So
This
we
is
can't
something
retro-
we can't fund right now, it's too soon.
International Day, we go ahead with one.
So we might have some amount of money left in our account. We'd be able to use that, but then
Yeah, you can use whatever money you have now towards this event. We just can't give you any more money before the event.
I see. All
Because
right.
we don't retroactively fund. Do you know how much
Do you guys?
is currently in
We
your
can't
account?
see that on our behalf. We have to speak to Bob exactly to know how much we have. But
Yeah, I would just go up there Monday or send them an email.
I see.
No, they actually can see it. The treasurer of the
No, I'm not the treasurer. I'm the
Who's the
president.
treasurer?
The treasurer can see it. All right. The second event is titled The Struggle for Palestine. It's going to be our main event. We're going to have a guest speaker, and most of the things going to go for the speaker's fees, such as the payment he requests. Also, we're going to have catering, which is food. This event's going to be open to the public along with every CSU student. We're also going to request $100 from that for marketing and promoting the event itself, since it is going to be our main event that we're going to be having as an organization. And then we requested $500 for t-shirts. It was an estimate. We asked around and used the approved vendors, and we estimated around how much t-shirts we're going to be having, and then we got around $500 for the ones that we would.
How many members do you
We have on OrgSync, we have, because a lot of people are new and still don't know it, but we're hoping to print t-shirts for Palestine. Since our organization is for Palestinian students, we're hoping to print t-shirts that are for Palestinian students that would help them recruit towards our organization as well, since it is for Palestinian students, not specifically that are part of our organization.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will let you know by November 23rd.
All right, thank you.
Any money you have now, you can use toward that event.
All right, thank you.
Shut up.
That was my
Our group message is, ton of remarks. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay, I understand. Well, this is just quick. Oh, wow.
No, you just go.
Okay, so the Business Tech Trans Connection, as you know, is for students to help students become adjusted, make sure they have the resources that they need to be successful. And one other thing that we want to do is make sure that at finals week that we are very stress-free. I like we actually did this workshop where we did a relaxation thing. And so you know the stresses of finals week, it's going to be very like just stressful, and we want to make sure the students have an outlet so that they will be able to decompress and do well in their finals. So that's why we requested the funding for the massage therapy. We also have students that are helping in this program, such as Amaze Scarring, who trying to make everyone feel a little better.
Where are you guys gonna be at? Because I know.
We're gonna be. I invited you guys last time, but it's at the Mosaic House. So if you go to the Rose Tower, 12th floor, just come there and it's a sign-in sheet, and as long as you sign in during the lunch and learn, she's going to be able to take everyone. So it's a licensed massage therapist. It's called Just You Relax, and as long as we can get the funding, it'll be available for the students. And like
Consider
I
it
said,
funded.
yes. Okay. And I hope to see everyone here.
What day is it?
So we're trying to come up with a date. So I have to call the just me. I wanted to make sure it was reserved. So as soon as we can get the date, it's going to be the week of final stuff. So
Okay.
what days do you guys think? What's the most stressful day?
And a Monday through Friday?
Well, which day?
Tuesdays or Wednesdays?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Hump day.
Friday, I don't want to massage, I want to drink.
So you guys can $400.
Yes, and that was just the cost of the massage chair, and then she also included little gift bags with each massage.
Oh.
So we shouldn't have any problem with that.
Can we do more than once?
Yes. No, unfortunately not. But hopefully we can do this more than once.
Sounds
You should get an email on
Sounds
the
good.
23rd.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thanks for.
Okay, thank you.
The Latina
They're not here.
wasn't
Let
here.
us know when it is.
Cool, because their thing couldn't be funded anyway, because the next one's there.
Guys, our we went from 10-minute things, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Like all our other things were going 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Well, the Latin expedition people, they did like an hour. They were so
Okay,
How
I'll
many-
tell you exactly.
How many? I want to see how
introduce
long
each
the
other,
minutes are.
I know.
Well, what I'm gonna do is basically put in whatever you requested and explain, and then just have at the top. This was recorded and is available on
We're not sending it to
Social Black Show.
Introduce every time, I know.
Hi,
Hello.
hi everybody.
How are you?
I'm fine, how's everybody doing? It's so late.
It is so late.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Karen Washington, and I'm actually the president of the National Association of Black Social Workers. And I have a few projects that we are actually, I'm not sure if anybody knows what our association is. We usually address the issues at hand that affect the Black community and the community at large. So that's what we do. So I think when I submitted my proposal, I submitted one for a conference. We have a conference.
3,000.
We have a conference every year. Last year was in Chicago. It was my first time going, and we had people from all over the United States that came there. So next year it's supposed to be in New Orleans. So I'm asking for the funding for that. That's the one thing.
You guys need $3,000, but we only can fund $2,000 off campus.
Well, I think last year when I asked for it, they gave it to me.
The last year was different rules. This
Yeah, this year we're only doing 3,000 on campus, 2,000 off campus.
Yeah.
If you can fundraise the extra 1,000.
Yeah.
That's great.
You are right, it used to be, I don't think it said that, like, conferences could be an exception from 3,000, but the bylaws of the finance rate this year are just 2,000 off campus, like, period.
Okay, all right.
So,
Okay, so, and then the other thing I think I asked for promotional
$60 for a
supplies,
t-shirt.
yeah, for t-shirts, things for like our graduates and all the other things that we need to be doing for that
What's the
organization.
Winter Hearts?
The Winter Hearts program is a program that we're going to be collaborating with a community organization called Fair Hill Partners. It's a senior organization for homeless seniors. They have 18 beds, and these seniors are usually brought into the program, and they usually have other things that they have to do and to complete the program. But what we want to do is actually get the like the socks and the blankets and things like that for them, because those are the things that they never have when they get there, and those things like that are things that they need. So most of the time they're given a bed sheet, a set of sheets and things like that, but the other things are not, so that's what we want to help with that.
So that's more service oriented?
Yeah.
That'd probably be more towards biking expeditions.
Are you familiar with biking expeditions? Yeah, so, maybe we should send this their way.
Yeah,
I will.
but you can either get funded through biking expeditions or SGA, and that's more service, that's usually what they do.
Right.
But I don't think they have it at home.
I will
Just
let
have
you
to-
know.
Yeah, just send it to her.
Right.
All right, everything else looks good?
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Okay,
your time.
thank you. All right, have a good evening.
You got two more.
So do I have to do another complete funding for
Well,
requesting?
the budget